Hi, my name is Nana, and I'm going to read you a story about a star. His name is Seymour, and he wanted to be a superstar. This is in Volume 4, and this is story number 2, and it's called Star Soup. It was several years ago, but Seymour remembers it well. It was in an orphanage where there were lots of children. There were big kids and lots of little kids. The house where they stayed was okay, and they had mostly enough clothes, but food was always a problem. There was a famous old chef who could no longer work in a restaurant, and the orphanage said he could come and live with them and cook. This made Seymour very happy that the chef had a job and the orphanage would have a cook. The famous chef was really excited and decided that he would prepare his famous chicken noodle soup for the children. He was sure they would love it. So one morning he got up really early, mixed up the flour and eggs for the noodles, rolled out the dough, and cut into long strips. After the noodles had dried, he finished preparing the soup. When mealtime came, he was so excited to feed the children his famous chicken noodle soup. The kids came running in, and of course, the big kids got there first. When the big kids saw the soup with the noodles, they started telling everyone that the soup had worms in it. When the little children took a look at the soup, they refused to eat the soup because it had worms in it. The big kids ate all the soup. No matter what the chef said, the little children would not eat the soup. This worried Seymour. So the next day, the chef thought he would fool the big kids. And when he cut the dough for the noodles, he made it in little squares. He thought, this'll fool those big kids. But when they came to eat, the big kids said the noodles were bugs, and the little kids refused to eat again. Seymour was really worried. He knew the children needed nourishment to make their bodies grow. The little children were getting hungry because they were afraid to eat the soup they thought had worms and bugs in it. The famous chef was at his wit's end. He didn't know what to do. One evening, as he was saying his evening prayers, he asked God what could he do so all the children would eat his famous soup. God said, "Hey, Seymour, I need you to shine really, really bright." Well, Seymour was happy to obey God, even though he didn't know why, so he put on his brightest shine. As the famous chef finished his prayers, asking God for help, he looked up into the heavens and saw a star, and it was shining so bright. A thought came to the chef. I'll make the noodles into star shapes. Stars don't look like worms or bugs. The famous chef could hardly wait until morning to make his famous soup again. He got up early the next day, got out the flour and eggs and prepared the dough, and found a small cookie cutter and cut the dough into shape of stars. When the little kids came in at mealtime, they didn't want to sit down. They were afraid there were worms or bugs in the soup. They were so surprised to look into their bowls and find no bugs, no worms, but lots and lots of tiny stars. Happily, they began to eat the chef's famous chicken noodle soup, and it tasted so good. Even though Seymour didn't know what God had in mind for him when he asked him to shine really bright that night, he still did exactly what God asked. So it is with us. Sometimes we don't know why God asked us to do something, but we just need to do it anyway. So the next time you sit down to a bowl of soup with stars, think of Seymour and how he obeyed God. Seymour can't twinkle in soup, but he is twinkling in the sky. Don't forget to twinkle back. Till next time.